Hi everybody, TJ Mack Vintage Cards here. Today I'm excited to be doing a profile of the 1964 Philadelphia football set. And I'm looking at the 18, what I consider to be the main or key cards from that year. And this was the first of the Philadelphia sets I put together when I took this project on several years ago. There was 4 sets issued by Philadelphia Chewing Gum depicting NFL players. It was 64 through 1967. Previous to that was Topps that had the NFL players that they profiled each year, and then Flair was doing the AFL players a few years before that, and then Topps in 1964 took over the AFL players, and Philadelphia did the NFL players. I do have some of the Topps cards from that year, but I'm not putting them in with this group today. I'm just looking at the Philadelphia NFL players. So why don't we jump right in and take a look at this set. In 1964, the Cleveland Browns won the NFL championship that year, beating the Baltimore Colts 27-0. In that game, they held Johnny Unitas to 95 yards passing and 2 interceptions. Johnny Unitas won his second of 3 MVPs in 1964. He had 2,824 yards passing, 19 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. He had a 96 quarterback rating, but the funny thing is he only completed 51.8% of his passes. Which, again, we've talked about this in other videos. It's just the rules at that time. The completion percentages aren't nearly what they are today. The other player I want to look at here is this is a John Mackey rookie card. John Mackey was a 3-time first-team All-Pro tight end, one of the early offensive tight ends in the NFL, and he won a championship with the Colts in 1968, and he also won Super Bowl V with the Colts when they beat the Dallas Cowboys. His 15.8 yards per catch, get the glare out there, is still the second highest for a tight end behind Jackie Smith in NFL history. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1992. The NFL Network ranked him 42nd greatest player of all time in 2010. And he was just one of these incredible athletes who just had great speed for the position. He wasn't afraid to run over a defender. And to really sum up his style, I was watching a video when I was preparing for this video where there was 6 or 7 Detroit Lions that were swarming around him. And he managed just to bull his way out of that, take off, run down the field, and score a touchdown. Just a guy that had a great speed and power. Not the best hands, apparently, but he didn't drop a lot of balls. He used his body to catch the balls. And, you know, just an overall fabulous player. So happy to spend a moment profiling him. And then this set is pretty much mostly grade 7s with some grade 6s, if you're concerned about that. And here's Mike Ditka. Here's Jim Brown. A lot of the Cleveland Browns cards, it looks like a green screen almost there. I know they didn't have them then, but that he's in front of. It's got a car behind him. Some say that was his car. Some of the Cleveland Browns cards I know have the car behind them, but this is the one with Jim Brown. So I just really like this card. I like that he's holding his helmet, and just a great pose of a great running back. And Jim Brown, as with most years, led the NFL in rushing that season with 1,446 yards in a 14-game season. Browns, again, NFL champions. They finished with, I believe, a 10-3-1 record, and the Colts had the best record at 12-2. And here's just I think a great-looking second-year card of Bob Lilly. Like the yellow on the bottom there, it goes nice with the blue uniform. Dandy Don Meredith. This was before the Cowboys started really getting good. I think they were like 5-8 that year, 5-8-1, I want to say. And then they started really taking off, I believe, in '65. That was the year they started getting good. And then Tom Landry had the 20 straight winning seasons, which is still an NFL record. And here's Herb Adderley, and this is his rookie card. He recently passed away. And he was a 4-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowl cornerback who won 8 championships, 5 NFL championships, and 3 Super Bowls. He won 7 with the Packers, 1 with the Dallas Cowboys. And he had a 12-year career, and he finished with 48 interceptions in his career, which when he retired was 13th all-time. And he was known as just a great all-around corner. He would, I think, fit in well in this game. today. He had good tackling ability. He was a good cover guy, very smart player, knew where to be, and he just was a good ball hawk as well. As you can see, he had 48 interceptions. And the thing about him is, I read a story about him when he was writing really that he disliked very much playing for the Dallas Cowboys and liked playing for Vince Lombardi and the Packers. Even though Coach Landry and Coach Lombardi were both two of the greatest coaches of all time and certainly of their generations, they had very different coaching styles. Where Tom Landry had a system in Dallas for his defense, and you really had to play within that system. Where Herb Adderley was more of an instinctive player, and he really struggled in that kind of he played well in the defense, but he struggled really buying into that defensive system because he really liked to rely on his ability to make plays. And Coach Landry was the type of coach that even if you succeeded on your own, he would still come down on you sometimes because he wanted you to play within the system that he employed. And it obviously was successful for the Cowboys, but Adderley just wasn't a right fit for that, he felt. And he still, to the day he died, never wore his Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl ring just because he did not enjoy his time very much in Dallas. And then here's Willie Davis rookie card, defensive end. I know him and Adderley were good friends. I think they co-wrote a book together or joined in an effort on a book anyway. And this looks like an action shot here, even though he doesn't have a helmet on. It's a great pose of Paul Hornung. Looks very intense. Bart Starr, he led the league in passer rating that year with a 97.4 passer rating. And next to him is Jim Taylor, who was second in rushing yards with 1,169. And he also had 15 total touchdowns. And moving down to the bottom here, we got Merlin Olsen. This is his rookie card, part of that fearsome foursome. There's no Deacon Jones in this set. That's why I don't have him in here as one of my key cards. He came back in 1965. His rookie was 63 tops. And here's Fran Tarkenton with the Vikings. Y. Tittle. And next to him is the rookie card of Jim Johnson. Just give me a second here. I just want to get my information on him. Jim Johnson was a 4-time first-team All-Pro and 4-time second-team All-Pro, and he was a cornerback. He played his entire 16-year career with the San Francisco 49ers. And when I was reading about him, he's considered one of the best man-to-man corners ever. He even played some receiver in his career, which I found interesting. Not entirely surprised, though, because that's kind of how football was back then. In 1962, as a receiver, he caught 34 passes for 626 yards and 4 touchdowns. And I believe he had an 11-catch, 180-yard game against the Detroit Lions that year. So that season, he played pretty much entirely on offense. And then pretty much the rest of his career, he played defense, even though he did play some receiver here and there. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1994. And this was interesting. His team QB, John Brody, said this of Jim Johnson. He said, Jim doesn't get much publicity because the opposition avoids him as much as possible. So he was kind of one of those lockdown corners back then. He said, talk to veteran quarterbacks like John Unitas and Bart Starr, and they'll be the first to tell you they call very few pass patterns in Jimmy's area. The only reason Johnson doesn't lead the league in interceptions is he doesn't really get the chance to do so. So I think it's a great quote from his quarterback. And then here we got Sam Huff and Sonny Jurgensen, both wearing different uniforms, but listed on the bottom is on the Washington Redskins. Huff, of course, in his Giants uniform, and Jurgensen in his Eagles uniform, yes. So let me just go through one more time and do a last scan through. I appreciate everybody's time watching these videos. I appreciate all the support I'm getting for my videos and the comments. I'm very grateful for all you're doing, and I do try to support. I certainly watch a lot of content, and I try to put as many comments as I can for others as well. And if I'm not commenting specific on you, I certainly try to pay it forward as much as I can to others. So really do enjoy the community and all the support I'm getting. So everybody have a great day, and I'll be doing another video soon.